YouTube is absolutely killing me. Sorry, folks. I always have to do like a little extra for YouTube because the camera that you have picked out, the angle and everything is not what shows up when you go live. It's totally different. So even though I have something nicely set up, it doesn't translate over. So I apologize for you guys getting a little bit extra. It's the nature of how they're doing things. They tell you, hey, it's going to look like this, and then you go to do it, and it doesn't look anything like that. So I apologize. Let's see. Oh, hey, Liz. All right, let's get Facebook on here. Hey, everyone on Facebook and hey, everyone on YouTube. Thanks for staying up late with me and checking out this live tonight. It has been a tough few days. You guys saw my live stream from the beach and finding out about my friend who had just gotten riddled with cancer. And I got a call late last night from our mutual friend that my old neighbor had passed away. And so it's one of those things, it's kind of hard because he's my former neighbor. He's the first person I met when I moved to Ohio. And we would say happy birthday. We would say Merry Christmas when I moved to the new house. The communication, was less, but it was still there. And then, I never thought it would ever come to this. I figured, get a call, hey, my daughter's, going to be neurosurgeon. You should come to she's going to be a doctor, come to the ceremony. That's what I was, I always hope for that stuff. Never hope for anything like this. So my friend and I talked about it, and it's also kind of odd. And I don't know if this is a family thing or because of his condition or what, but they're not doing any service. There's no remembrance. There's no memorial. There's no nothing. There's like the family doesn't want anyone else, I don't want to say involved, but not like they don't want condolences. They don't want flowers. They don't want to set up a scholarship fund, nothing like that. So sorry, I have a pretty kick-ass bug zapper here. That thing just ripped out. Oh, there's a couple. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Wow. The bigger they are, the harder the lightsaber, right? So it's very odd. Most of the time when you see this or you hear about this, the person who's ill or has cancer or whatever normally wants, appreciates support, but the family and my friend didn't want that support. There were no requests for that, and it was kept very, very close to the vest. Not like secretive, but like they were not into any sort of, and I don't know if I wouldn't call it pity. I don't know what you call it, but that's very odd for me when you want something or when you want to help someone and back them up and let them know that you're there for them if they need something, whatever. And you kind of have to respect their wishes and not do any of that stuff. For me, that's very odd. For my friend, it was very odd. I talked to a couple of our other mutual friends who had no clue, and they said they were extremely surprised, and they asked, what they could do, anything like that. And I said, no, I don't think we're doing anything. So last night when I talked to our mutual friend, I said, maybe just the friends get together and do a dinner somewhere, just a remembrance dinner, and invite the family if they'd like to come. His wife and his daughters, his dad, sister, whoever. They're welcome to join. They're not obligated by any stretch, and at least our small group of 6 or 7 of us could get together and tell some funny stories and try to make the grieving a little bit easier. So that might happen in the future. We'll talk about that. But I talked to one of his. Uh, uh, this is so stupid. His name is Don. He's my neighbor. It's so hard to just not use names. Um, Shit, if you want to look him up, you can. It doesn't really matter. He's gone, right? He has passed on. So my friend Pete called today, and I haven't talked to Pete in probably a year or so. I've talked to him online, but I haven't heard his voice in a while. And Pete was just as shocked as I was, and Pete liked the idea of a group remembrance dinner. And I also talked to Pete and Don flew together for a long time, privateering, and that was another one. Hopefully, you guys can hear that. When the mosquitoes, the big ass bugs, get to that zapper, they learn the lesson. Anyway, Pete and Don flew together for a long time, and then Don worked for United. First, he was a cargo pilot. He was a pilot, like literally right out of high school, and started flying cargo. And he one of his first gigs was flying. This sounds very odd, but they would fly checks from banks, and the checks would go from one place to another, and then get transferred, physically held onto and taken care of that way. And this was years and years and years ago, pre-crypto, and he was flying checks all over the country in smaller planes, and then he started working. He got a job at United Airlines, which was pretty cool, and he was flying commercial for a very, very long time. And our mutual friend Josh, I talked to him via text, and he was just as surprised. And he said, I'll never be able to thank Don for getting me the job at United. Josh and Don flew together for a while, and Don got him the job at United, which is pretty cool. So these guys, all of the guys are pilots except for me, but having conversations with them, I learned a ton about airplanes, being a pilot, commercial, private, this side of military. Any of the military stuff I got from my brother, the commercial side I got from these guys, and it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting, and it was always a good conversation. So in relation to that, I'll give you guys 2 quick funny stories with Don. The first one was it was Halloween, and the neighborhood we lived in was a big time candy neighborhood. Like everybody came by from like 6 till 10. It was just ding dong, ding dong. So you always had a couple of yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Good point, Liz. The neighborhood was always packed full of kids, and it was constant. Probably $300-400 worth of candy out the door. So I'm I'm in costume. I don't even remember what my costume was. I'm sure it was very weak. But Don showed up with his 2 little girls, and they were very young at the time. And he and his wife showed up with the 2 little girls, and they were absolutely adorable. They're dressed like, I don't know, like I can't even remember what their costumes were. Toy Story, whatever. But Don's costume was hysterical. He actually had a huge crescent wrench, and he was in his pilot's uniform and his captain's uniform. And I go, what the hell? What kind of costume is that? And he goes, this is the scariest thing in the world. a pilot with a wrench, and I busted out laughing. I thought it was the funniest damn thing I've ever heard. So, the girls, of course, didn't understand why I was laughing at Daddy's costume, but Daddy's costume was very, very, very funny. There's nothing scarier than a pilot with a wrench. Trust me on that one. Um, so that was a really good one. And then the other one, this one's a little bit longer. So it's Christmas morning, and it's like 7 o'clock, maybe 7:30, and I get a call from Don, and he says, "Kev, you have to come over. I got a new video game. It's called Guitar Hero. You're gonna break the game. You have to come over here and just absolutely, get high score and all that." And I was like, "Okay, dude, I'm still in my pajamas. I haven't even, I haven't even gotten in the shower." He's like, "No, you got to come over right away." All right, so of course it's Christmas. It's Ohio. I have to put on long underwear. I have to put on regular clothes, jacket, hat, goggles, just to go across the street. So anyway, I go over there, and then I take off the hat and goggles, jacket and hoodie. Go down. I think it might have been in his basement, but it also might have been in his living room. And he'd been playing for like 2 hours. He'd been up since dawn, and he'd been playing. And he said, "Here you go, man." He gives me this little plastic guitar. It's about, I don't know, 30 inches long. It's a little teeny tiny plastic thing that has 4 buttons on it, and sort of a bridge, but not a bridge, but like a thing to pick. It's like a little up down switch. And I'm like, "This is not a guitar. This is a toy for something." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Use the buttons, and you follow the buttons on the screen. And when the button comes up, you hit the button, and then you have to pick with it. And then if you move the guitar around and stuff, that's, your Guitar Hero." And I'm like, "All right, just so you know, this is nowhere near what playing a guitar is like." And he's like, "I know. You're going to be so great at it, because you're a guitar player, so you're going to just absolutely rail it." So we started off with, and these are songs that I know, and I know how to play, and I've played them a whole bunch of times. So we started off with Foghat and Slow Ride, and this is on the super beginner setting. And I've played this song a bunch of times. It's, one of my favorite songs. I think it's great. My buddy Jeff Conroy, it's like our song. And so I know the song kind of, pretty thorough. What I didn't realize was in Guitar Hero, all these songs are covers. Now they're very, very, very good covers, but they're not exactly like the original. So I'm trying to play along with the song because I know where the slide parts are. I know where the bridge is. I know where the choruses are. And these are all kind of put together differently. And I'm like, all right, well, here's the huge break. And it turns out there's not a break. And it just goes right back into the song. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay. I got booed off stage. Absolutely booed off in the video game. They were like, "Boo, get off of it." I was like, "Don, I don't know about this. I don't think this is going to work." He's like, "Okay, let's try another one." Because he'd been kicking ass at it for hours, right? So we tried, God, what was the other song? Oh, it was Bulls on Parade from Rage Against the Machine. And I'm like, I played this at bars, 50 times, 100 times. I know, the drop D tuning. I know all of that. I know the breakdown, the bridge, chorus, all of that. Okay, great. Let's do that. And it's sort of the same thing that happened with Slow Ride. It's a very, very, very good cover, and it's very well done, but it's not the song. It's not, and there was another zap. I don't know if it's the same thing that's getting zapped, but something's getting zapped over there. It's not the same as actually playing the song. It's different in so many different ways. Not only with only 4 buttons and not having 6 strings, but also the song structure and how many how many times they do Bulls on Parade in the chorus. Sometimes they'll do it 6, sometimes they'll do it 8. And it was, I didn't get it. I couldn't. I'm like, all right, well, here comes the chorus. And it actually wasn't the chorus. And I thought I was ready for it and I bomb out. And again, the video game just booed me off stage. They were like, boo, boo, get out. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. I might have to turn that thing off. I'm starting to feel bad about it zapping things. Um, it is just for mosquitoes, but that's way more than a Florida mosquito. So I felt bad. I was like, dude, you're great at this. I suck at this. I'm sorry. If you want to learn to actually play guitar, come on over. Come down to Kevland. We'll plug you in, and I'll show you actually how to play guitar. This is nothing like playing guitar. And I found out later there's actually a very funny video of Scotty Ian from Anthrax at a Walmart trying to play an Anthrax song on Guitar Hero, and he bombs out too. So I didn't feel too bad about it after I saw that, but I felt terrible going over there, and he thought I was just going to absolutely light this game up, and I was not Grandma's boy. That is for damn sure. Hopefully, some of you guys get that reference. It was very embarrassing for me, and Don was so confused. He's like, I thought for sure you would absolutely, kick ass at this game. And I'm like, I'm not even close. Not even close. But if you want to learn the real thing, you can do that. So those are two of my, I probably have 50 stories from Don and those guys studying for commercial. I think it was he and Josh, or it might have been him and Pete were studying for some commercial. Whoa, sorry. Some commercial test. Hang on. I got to turn off. Turn off the pool pump. Sorry about that. They were studying for some commercial test, and they had this huge, thick book, and they were going through all this stuff. And I'm sitting on the back patio with them and listening to them quiz each other back and forth on all this insanely technical stuff. So learning about flight operations and piloting through those guys was actually kind of neat. And so thank you, Don, for that. And thank you, Josh, and thank you, Pete, and thank you, Dave. You guys, the stories you guys told and the way you explained stuff made it a lot easier. It's one of those things, when you hear those guys talk, it makes you feel 10,000 times better about flying. If you're ever worried about flying, hang out with pilots and listen to them talk about I don't want to say talk about work, but talk about how they do things. And you'll feel a lot better about getting on a plane. Yeah, a lot better. So thanks to Don for that. I appreciate that. I was never, I've been flying since I was 5 months old. So it was never a big deal for me, but those guys definitely made it, I don't want to say more fun, but definitely more relaxing. Better way to put it. And so I appreciate him for that. I feel for his wife and his two girls. They're great people. I remember when the girls were born, and now they're heading off to high school and college, and they're going to do all this stuff without their dad, and it just, it kills you inside. It just, you're kind of broken up. You're like, I want to do something to help out, but I can't really do much. So, that's kind of it. Just wanted to, say, Cancer, pick someone else next time. Not one of the good guys. Don is one of the good guys, and pick someone, a serial killer or something. Just some bad person. Go take them. Not someone who's a good dad. Solid career and a good husband and all of this. Don't do that. Take someone else. You got 8 billion people on the planet. You can pick better. So that's kind of it for tonight. You guys won't see this view for probably another 10 days or so. I'm headed to Columbus. So You can't see it on the camera here, but I'm actually going to close the hurricane shutters and lock them. Whole house gets locked down, and then I'm off to Ohio for 10 days. But I'll definitely do some live streams from up there, and if I get any updates on this, I'll let you guys know. Also, if you'd like to join us, if you were a friend of Don, I know I have a ton of mutual friends on Facebook. So if you were a friend of Don and you would like to join us for that, shoot me a text, or Dave, shoot Dave a text. He's talking about putting something together. So either way, we'll get you on the list and do a group message or whatever. But it sucks all the way around. I wish it wasn't. I wish it wasn't my friend. I wish it was like I said, a serial killer or someone else. But these things happen, and the hard part is not being able to tell the family, hey, I'm sorry, and if you need anything, that's the part that kind of digs in. So that's it for tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and sorry I wasn't with you earlier. I've been house cleaning all day, and then I just finished the last load of laundry and packing up, and figured I'd get something to you guys before I got on the plane in 5 hours. So yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, definitely put them down there. I'm happy to answer all of them. And if you want to contact me, you guys know how to do it. I'm not hidden at all. So I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight, and hopefully things will get better, brighter, bigger tomorrow. Right? That's what we're hoping for. That's what we are hoping for. So yeah, don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give them a kiss on the cheek, give them a kiss on the tip of their nose, hold their hand, give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but it is far more important for you, and you on YouTube, and you on Instagram, who will get this in a few minutes. So thanks everyone for hanging tonight, and we'll do some more positive sunshine, puppies and kittens and rainbows and fireworks stuff later this weekend. Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.